Hello, my name is Katie and welcome back to my channel if you haven't seen it before. I make content on literally just rambling about thoughts I've had and spirituality and personal growth, so if that sounds good, then yeah, carry on. Today I've got a little tea blend with me today, and this is the mug I've got. It's like a little map of the world. And I got a little yogi tea. It's like a women's blend. I have no idea what's in it, but it smells good. It smells very... I can smell some cinnamon, so I love cinnamon, so that's good. And today I just want to talk a little bit about content addiction. And if you're someone that struggles with content addiction, I'm going to kind of split it into two sections. So what the dangers are and what it's doing to your brain, and then the second section of how you can implement steps to get rid of it or better it in some ways. It's really warm in here, so I'm going to take this off. Just like a thought before I start, if you're someone that's getting really, really down about your content addiction and you're getting really frustrated with it, number one, that's a good thing because it's kind of the first step in tackling it. I think a lot of frustration really is like a catalyst for change, and even if you clicked on this video, then you've obviously admitted to yourself that you do have some sort of problem, or even if you don't have a problem, you want to cut down on your social media, then it's always a great step to research it further. And two, please don't be too hard on yourself. You are literally competing with robots, robots and algorithms that are perfectly designed with millions of pounds, dollars, whatever currency put into it, made perfectly for our little monkey brains to be addicted to. So one, don't get yourself down about it. Don't judge others that have this problem either. It's so difficult to compete against that. So hats off to anyone who is trying to at the moment. So we all know that scrolling TikTok, Instagram, all the 10-second videos, they're horrible for our brain. They make our brain produce so much dopamine all the time, so much that we can't focus or concentrate on anything else, anything longer than 10 seconds, 15 seconds. I know when I had a really bad content addiction, I couldn't even watch a YouTube video the whole way because I was so used to these little short form videos, mainly on TikTok. TikTok's the worst for it. But especially if you scroll early in the morning, that is the worst time that you could scroll, because that first thing that you do, you're getting a hit of the most dopamine you've had. Nothing can compare to that for the rest of the day. You'll start to realize that all the stuff you used to enjoy, you no longer enjoy because they're not as stimulating as all these videos that you've been watching, which is really sad because I definitely lost interest in so many of my hobbies that I loved to do before because I just couldn't focus on it. I couldn't even focus on cleaning, doing any housework. It was really difficult to just get up and do the normal things that I liked to do. And I can see it in other people as well. It makes you really restless. I remember just feeling so frustrated because I would be so agitated all the time. I want to do everything so fast. Even when I was cooking dinner, I wanted to chop everything so fast, and I was like, why can't I just chill? Why can't I just do it slowly? And it's because subconsciously my brain was ready to get back to scrolling. It wanted to do all of my tasks super fast so I could just get back to scrolling. And you don't realize it until you really sit down and think about your habits. But honestly, it's probably ruining a lot of your productivity as well. It makes hard things that are meant to be, a little bit hard, but you should do it. You can do it. It makes it so difficult. And another thought that I've had about it is I have ADHD. I'm diagnosed with ADHD, and I really wonder, we know that there's a spike in diagnosis with ADHD. Everybody seems to have it. Everybody seems to claim to have it, and I don't blame them because all the symptoms are really common. I can see them in a lot of people, and I'm wondering whether actually it may not be ADHD and it might be like symptoms of content addiction, because I think they're really similar, really, really similar. The restlessness, the like lashing out the emotions, the just constant need for more dopamine, the distraction. I really think that a lot of these cases of ADHD might actually be just content addiction, and maybe mine too. Like, I'm not to say that ADHD isn't a thing, but I don't think it's as common as people think or people know. So that's something to think about and contemplate on. A little tea break. But yeah, we all know it shortens our attention span. It shortens our attention span so much. And since monitoring my own social media, I realized I can read a book. I could never do that before. I can do my housework. I can play violin and concentrate on it for an hour, sometimes even more sometimes. Which is crazy because about a year or two ago, I could not do that, and I've ruled it out, and I think it is due to the amount of content I was consuming at the time. Because I did a little test not so long ago. I did a couple of weeks without Instagram Reels and TikTok, and then I had a couple of weeks with it, and a couple of weeks with it, but just little bursts of it. And I realized every time that I got up from a little scrolling session and I tried to do something else, it was so much harder. So much harder. And I had such little time to devote to my normal hobbies. That is just so sad to me, that we sacrifice a lot of our growing and our hobbies and the things we like to do for mindless scrolling because we're just so addicted. So addicted. So the way I dealt with my content addiction and the tips that I'm going to put out to you guys is, number one, spend some time without it. I don't think it's realistic to say I'm never going to have social media again, I'm going to delete it all, because sometimes I delete it for a week or so. I think I like it when I delete it for a bit if it gets too much, and then get it back for a bit. That works for me because it's like a little detox, and I think that's not what's healthy. If you don't want to delete it fully, then spend some time thinking about when you like to scroll. So do you like to scroll in the morning, in the evenings? And really start to pay attention to when you're reaching for your phone. Maybe when you're eating dinner or something and you usually scroll while you're eating dinner. Just notice where you start scrolling and what situations you start scrolling in. Is it because you're waiting to be seen by a doctor, an appointment, or waiting for the bus or something? Like, mentally, or write them down. Note when you actually scroll, when you want to scroll, and start replacing that scroll time with something else. Now, the first step to do that I did for this was I downloaded a couple other apps that weren't social media. So I had like an affirmations app that I would read every day, and I also had like a little puzzle game. Like, just take it in little baby steps, like just little games or something. Even though they're quite stimulating as well, they're better than constantly consuming short form content. So I would definitely recommend downloading some apps that are a little bit more helpful. And when you feel the need to scroll, when you're bored, and you really, really need that kind of entertainment, you can go on that instead. That's a great first step. But I would encourage you to just spend time without it for at least just a week and see how much time you have and how much mental energy you have to put into other things. Because that will really shock you into thinking, wow, my life is actually a lot better when I'm not constantly on my phone. Because once you take that first step in really noticing the differences in your behaviors, you're like, why won't I carry this on? Why would I go back to scrolling when I feel so much more fulfilled in my life now that I don't do it so much? because I definitely feel like that now. I have so much more time to devote to stuff like music, because I'm really into my music, and like learning instruments, and even doing yoga and working out, and I'm so much more fulfilled with what I'm doing in my everyday life outside of work because I'm not just getting home and scrolling. Sometimes I scroll. I always scroll for about like 20 minutes, and then I'm like, nope, that's it. And it took a while to get to that discipline, but you can get there. Anyone can get there. You don't have to be a super, super disciplined person all the time. It takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of challenging your just natural instincts to reach for that phone. It is scary when you start noticing how often you want to reach for it and how you just can't live without it. It's scary. I will literally sit down for 2 seconds and my brain's like, give me something, please. And yeah, another thing, start doing things slower. Start doing your washing slower, cooking slower, cleaning slower. Really take your time with it and enjoy the process. My arm's looking kind of buff. No, it's not. I thought it was for a second. It kind of does. I don't know. I've been working out, so. But yeah, start doing things slowly. Really helps to calm your mind, because God, your mind will be so cluttered and chaotic if you consume that amount of content. So start doing things slower. See how you feel about how more calm than you feel. And you'll start to realize that you can focus on the things that you actually want to focus on. And it's really, really tough because, again, you are literally competing against a really powerful algorithm. And so many big people have been working on it, and it's literally just dimming us. It's literally just brainwashing us and making us turn to these little minions to go against it. So go against it, rebel against content, rebel against it, and find what you truly like to do. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little chat. If you did, leave me a comment, because it lets me know the kind of content that you guys like to see. And I hope you have a good night or day, whatever it is. Bye.